Fail Team 9 with Exiled and Brian J. Hardcore investigation of everything. Yes, even that.
Hello people, this is Exiled. In this video, I'm going to address a YouTuber named UNIRocktv, and he also has a channel named UNIRocktv. This guy is found in the great debate community among the flat earth debunkers and those covering the drama concerning Steve McRae and his former partner on the Non Sequitur show. Now, my interest in UNIRock is also in my knowing the man named Steve McRae, and he is known as the person who has taken the name of the great debate community with the intention of monetizing it, which I do find offensive. The great debate community is a YouTube community I actually named in my immigration application to describe where and how I met my husband, Brian J. 1962, back in 2013. And it's a community I've long been part of, either as a video maker or audience member, leaving comments since 2007. The other day I learned that a YouTuber named UNIRock2 had taken it upon himself to live stream one of Dragnaught's streams, and he was dissing drag from his UNIRock's own channel via a live stream. So basically he was playing a stream of himself streaming Dragnaught's content. Here's a clip.
Down, buddy.
Here's my,
All right,
my
awesome,
Blue,
Blue,
I don't
awesome.
understand these type of people. I'm not being.
If you're gonna be up late tonight, Blue, you can jump in right after I finish this, but I got something to do here really fast. Ask because I know Steve is not this way. He's an agnostic anyway. He can't be talking about Steve. Although I would then say this must be being applied to the people who apologize for Steve in his words, I suppose.
Some of them know that they aren't worth shit. Here is my...
Well, do it, Logical. I'm down, buddy.
Here's my...
All right,
my
awesome,
again,
Blue,
I don't
awesome.
understand these type of people. I'm not being...
If you're gonna be up late tonight, Blue, you can jump in right after I finish this, but I got something to do here really fast. Ask Mr. Unimpeachable Morals about pickup condoms for rent. No, I won't. You want to provide some evidence? Sure. I don't trust you. Okay? I don't. You got a clip or something else, fine. And in fact, you're coming to the wrong channel to bring jokes or to bring some like rude thing that somebody said, because I'm about free speech.
Now, the impetus for UNIRock's streaming in this manner had something to do with Steve McRae, a person Dragnaught is not fond of. UNIRock didn't ask Drag to come on the show. He didn't ask any questions of Drag in advance. I guess it was a hit piece by an unknown third party to the two men who are Drag and Steve. So UNIRock inserted himself. And by the way, as of this morning, October 13th, I've a question in UNIRock's comment section asking him who asked him to do that stream, and if no one had asked him to do it, what prompted him to do so. It seems to concern something that might have happened on Twitter. I don't know. Now, as I've discussed in my prior videos, Steve McRae has previously relied on others, like he did with Red's Rhetoric, to defend himself against a video Fiona Robertson made about Steve's rape apologetics for his guest, Earl David Warden, a convicted rapist, back in early July 2019, and the apologetics continue to this day. Redline defended Steve, but he inserted his personal grievances with Fiona into what should have remained a simple debate. Redline was demanding apologies, making accusations of slander, like that Fiona had made a slanderous video, that her video was a hit piece intended to smear Steve McRae. So, after Red's Rhetoric made his attack video on Fiona, I stepped in to defend it. and her, and to explain what Red's grievance is all about. As I've mentioned before, it's about some funeral where he behaved horribly and got called out for that. Again, it should have nothing to do with the arguments Fiona presented, and Red's rhetoric did a terrible job in defending his friend Steve McRae, and the last that this happened would have been on Modern Day Debate. You can find it. It's called Was It Rape Apologetics? Now, I do not like Steve McRae. I think he's a censorious, abusive man who is easily deceived. I think he pretends to be ethical and principled while hiding behind his friends when he fucks up. This is my experience with Steve and my opinion, and because I'm blocked, I have no way to really get to know him. Now, here's a brief clip of Dragnot talking about his experience with Steve.
It's really weird, especially when Steve starts talking about, what did I hear? He was talking about ethics and morals. It's really interesting. It's really interesting. Really interesting. Really interesting. Consider who he's willing to do business with, especially on that moral aspect. Really interesting. Now look, I'm not shitting on folks. You know what? I got a Patreon just like anybody else. I got people super chat me and all that stupid shit. You don't have to. That's not a requirement. You don't have to come here and kiss my ass. But you do for Steve. Why do you think he blocks people who disagree with him, who question him? Because he's sensitive. Because he's a little bitch. Why do you think that he won't come for me? He knows better. He knows better.
You can find Drag's channel in my video description below. Please go subscribe to him. Now, back to UNIRock, the guy who had a live stream making fun of Drag's previous live stream. This is what led me to wondering what this new Steve Defender is all about and to discover a little bit more about him. I'd heard a rumor that he was a promoter of QAnon conspiracies. So I went to his UNIRocktv channel and typed QAnon into a search. That search did return one video, but I'm told there are others related to QAnon, not just coming up in a search, not just the one that I found coming up in a search on his channel. Yeah. Having found this video by UNIRocktv, what I'm going to do now is debunk UNIRock's conspiracy theory video. His video is well produced. Mine will not be. But I feel it's important to do this to demonstrate how the great debate community has been so focused on drama related to Steve McRae that nobody has managed to find and debunk the conspiracy theories promoted by their friends and associates. Instead, they pat themselves on the back for debunking flat earth conspiracy theorists. I'm going to do this by playing a few clips of UNIRock's video, as few as possible. And then I will link to his video, even though it's probably monetized. And I don't usually like to link to conspiracy theory videos and enable them to be monetized. I'll then show you how easy it was for me to debunk his video's grand finale, so to speak, the piece of the picture that asks so many other questions, according to UNIRock, and which challenges even himself. He, UNIRock, who is some kind of hardened skeptic.
There is a theory on YouTube that at first seems too crazy to believe, but it changes very quickly. We've all seen the 1985 movie Back to the Future. There's a scene that takes place at the Twin Pines Mall where Doc and Marty are attacked in a surprise fashion by terrorists, specifically Muslim terrorists. Now, this theory claims that this attack is representative of 9/11, and they prove it in some very strange ways. But stick with me till the end of this video because it will shock you. Okay, so first off, they say if you turn the sign upside down, the clock will read 9/11. Also, since it is happening at the Twin Pines Mall, the theory states that these Twin Pines represent the Twin Towers. This is further backed up in the theory because in a later scene, this same mall is named the Lone Pine Mall and is represented by one pine. Of course, this is significant because it's obvious that the twin towers were replaced by a single tower and the twin pines were replaced by a lone pine. Now, this all seems like normal coincidence, I know, but there's a lot more to this theory. And I hope to show you that this phenomenon happens around almost every massively evil, unexplained historical event. But first, more on Back to the Future. Also at this scene in the movie, Doc has two stopwatches. They both say 119.
UNIROck covers the conspiracy theory, asking questions and making the viewer think there's something to it, that there's evidence in the film Back to the Future that predicted future events, specifically the September 11th attack on the United States by radical Islamic extremists. But I'm going to skip ahead here, and feel free to watch the rest of his video. It's the featured video on his UNIRocktv channel. I'm going to skip ahead now to about 8 minutes 25 seconds into his video. Up until this point, UNIRock was using another YouTube conspiratorial idiot's video to fill your head fully with questions, coincidences, a scene from the film that shows 911 in flames left on the ground by the DeLorean time travel machine, and some signage of a local shop to make it look like it was spelling out 911 in flames on the ground. These are the type of associations UNIRock has used to become so mesmerized by this bullshit in his own video that he can't help but take it one step further and reference a previous video he made, a theory of his own that uses an example of what kind of genius he is. It is this part of the video that I will quickly and easily debunk.
But I want to show you my own theory. Well, I'll show you one example of a theory I've had for a long time and follow it up with other examples in another video. But watching this theory a few times and processing all the information, I couldn't help but be reminded of another coincidence on the same day, 9/11. In one of my old videos, I added a clip of this powerful concept I've come to see in many of history's most evil and still unexplained events. In my video, 9/11, Some Facts We All Did Not Know, on UNIRock, this is the opening scene. It involves the school children in the room with George Bush reading words from
You get the letter at the end and remember the sound it makes. Get ready. Kite. Yes, kite. Get ready to read this word the fast way. Get ready. Kid. Yes, kid. Sound it out. Get ready. Kid. Sound it out. Get ready. Kid. What word? Kid. Yes, kid. Boys and girls, sound this word out. Get ready. Steal. What word? Steal. Yes, steal. Read these words the fast way. Get ready. Playing. Yes, playing. Get ready. Must. Yes, must. Let's read these words the fast way without making a mistake. Get ready. Kite. Yes, kite. Get ready. Kit. Yes, kit. Get ready. Steal. Yes, steal. Get ready. Playing. Yes, playing. Get ready. Must. Yes.
Bush is sitting in the room. He already knows the first plane has hit the towers, and seconds before, Bush's aide tells him the second plane has hit. The children read out the words: kite, hit, steal, plane, must. You can almost see it on Bush's face, like he's thinking that this can't be real. Planes hit the tower, and the kids are chanting each word out slowly and repeating them. I've talked to many people about these two things. Out of all the conversations and theories, I like to think of it like this. Some events are powerful. A wedding, a baby being born, a loved one passing. You can feel deep inside you something moving during these events. They are powerful enough to move a single person. I'm not overly religious, and I'm definitely overly skeptical, but even through my skepticism, some things are too real.
I did a quick internet search. Took me under 1 minute to find it. The children weren't saying the words UNIRock leads us to believe. They were saying. I feel that he may have edited his video to further remove context from another source video I found on this hoax. The teacher is leading the children to sound out, then read the words that actually say kite, kit, K-I-T, steal, S-T-E-A-L, playing, like children do, must.
At the end, and remember the sound it makes. Get ready. Kite. Yes, kite. Get ready to read this word the fast way. Get ready. Kid. Yes, kid. Sound it out. Get ready. Kid. Sound it out. Get ready. Kid. What word? Kid. Yes, kid. Boys and girls, sound this word out. Get ready. Steal. What word? Steal. Yes, steal. Read these words the fast way. Get ready. Playing. Yes, playing. Get ready. Must. Yes, must. Let's read these words the fast way without making a mistake. Get ready. Kite. Yes, kite. Get ready. Kit. Yes, kit. Get ready. Steal. Yes, steal. Get ready. Playing. Yes, playing. Get ready. Must. Yes.
Bush is sitting in the room. He already knows the first plane has hit the towers, and seconds before, Bush's aide tells him the second plane has hit. The children read out the words.
That's all we got. Keep walking.
I do not love you anymore. I do not love you anymore.
This concludes my deep dive on UNIRock. This is the great debate community that includes UNIRock, who is currently experiencing a complete lack of proper attention. Thank you and have a nice day.